billion-dollar crop?
Cannabis has not been responsible for a single drug death in Australia or in the world as far as we're informed. Alcohol is responsible for a lot of deaths in this country, both from the acute effects of intoxication and the longer effects of toxicity. Why they're treated so very differently, from being promoted in the electronic media and all the rest to being demonised and prohibited. People have to ask that question themselves.
Dr. Andrew Katelaris is a registrar in forensic medicine, but his part-time crusade has been to restore the status of a plant the world has been trying to eradicate for most of this century.
It's entirely hypocritical that cannabis is not available to treat a multitude of human problems, such as the wasting disease associated with HIV. Hemp drugs should be available to all those who may benefit and who need them.
There's thousands of acres in depressed rural areas just crying out for a high value added crop, and I think hemp is the ideal crop. I really do think it could rejuvenate rural Australia and Australia as a whole.
Andrew's conviction is shared by a number of farmers who are looking seriously at the viability of growing hemp as an alternative crop to cotton.
We think that's a good opportunity to introduce rural employment and export dollars as well.
Yeah, well, the phobia and inhibitions that people have got about marijuana can be put aside, or the recognition that this is not a drug-related crop. Once it achieves respectability, it'll be all systems go, I'm sure.
Yeah. The drug content of hemp is found only in the leaves and flowering heads. Much work has been done in Europe to breed varieties with very low levels of the psychoactive chemical tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC. It's these strains which are forging hemp's return into mainstream agriculture. These plants might look like other cannabis plants, but you could smoke an entire field and get nothing more than a headache. But the law does not differentiate between varieties, and even non-drug strains are still prohibited, despite their huge industrial potential.
The usefulness of hemp comes from the long, strong fibre which is found on the outside of the plant. It's the strongest of all natural fibres, and that's what's used for the fabric. It's also used for the more traditional uses of ropes and twines, and it can be used in the manufacture of best quality paper. The short fibre in the inside of the plant, the hurd, is composed of about 77% cellulose, and it can be used in the production of alcoholic fuels, such as ethanol, to run our vehicles in a non-polluting way. It can be used as a base for biodegradable plastics, such as cellophane and other more recent biodegradable plastic based on cellulose. It's an extremely useful plant.